begin seated, you can, if you have a block, you might take a block in between your ankles and sit back on it with bent knees. This is a modified Virasana. Or you might just have the ankles together, sitting on the heels. You might sit on a block with shins crossed. A block, a bolster, something to lift the hips might be nice, especially if there is tightness in the hips. So whatever position you find, we're going to come to it. We're going to close our eyes. And we're going to drop into the practice. We're going to take this time at the top of the practice to make the differentiation from off the mat to on the mat. Start by stopping, by breathing, and by noticing the breath. Feeling the expansion of the lungs in the rib cage. And on the exhale, feeling the softening that naturally comes into the body. Following your breath, maybe it begins to elongate on the inhales and the exhales. Maybe it begins to move only in and out through the nose. And the reason we breathe in and out through the nose during the practice is to allow the body to be informed that we don't need to be in our sympathetic nervous system, our stress response, fight or flight. We move through the practice, we practice difficult poses, different shapes with the body. And that might create stress in the body. And even though there is stress happening in the body, we can utilize our breath and our minds to soothe, to regulate, to stay grounded and present. As the breath rises and falls, like a cascade up and down the body. Today's practice, there will be moments of frustration or discomfort perhaps. And we're doing our best to sit in the seat of observer. To notice and acknowledge all the stories that come up in the mind. And to stay with ourselves through it all, with curiosity and compassion. How is life different when we show up with curiosity and compassion for this human experience? Drop chin to chest. Breathe into the back of the neck. And like a marble in a bowl, rolling from side to side, right to left, a half circle around the clavicle. Notice any areas that might clench up as this movement flows through the body. Pause over to the right. Right ear towards right shoulder. You can continue to breathe through the nose, just part the jaw. Reach the left arm away from you, palm facing the earth. Wiggle into the fingers. Keep reaching, reaching, reaching. And as you continue to reach, lower the hand towards the earth. Upright the head. And take the left ear towards left shoulder. Breathe into the side of the neck. And then sweeping the right arm up and away, reach the fingertips away, get long through the forearm, the upper arm, the shoulder, and the right side of the neck as you wiggle the fingers. Notice if the jaw is clenching here. And slowly lower the hand towards the earth. Upright the head. Roll the shoulders up towards the ears and down the back 2 or 3 times. And then we'll come off any block or bolster and onto hands and knees. Wag the hips from side to side. Draw some circles. Moving clockwise and then counterclockwise. 2 or 3 times each direction. And pause. Tabletop. Notice your knees under your hips, your hands under your shoulders. Step the right foot back, press through the heel. Belly pulls up and in, tailbone points towards the back, heel. Begin to float the leg to the height of the hip. Keep reaching through the heel. Direct the toes out to the side, external rotation. Bend the knee like a dog peeing on a fire hydrant. And we're going to lower the knee towards the earth. And then lift it back up like you're opening a door and closing it. Open and close. Core is engaged. The knee comes out to the side and then down towards the left knee. A few more times. Pause with it lifted. Extend the leg back. Square the hips off. And float the left hand forward. Belly pulling up and in. Long lines of energy here, reaching through the heel, reaching through the left fingers. Lower the left hand back to the earth. Step the right foot out beside the hip, long leg. And then bend into the knee and stir up the hip. So you're bending, you're straightening, you're drawing a big circle. And go in the opposite direction. And pause down center. Belly to spine, hands to hips, upright. Sweep the left arm up. Keep a small bend in that right knee. Think up with left fingertips as you tip over towards the right. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale through center. Exhale, hands to the earth. Step the right knee back in line with the left. Draw a circle one direction and then the other with the hips. Tabletop. Left foot steps back. Press through the heels, zip belly to spine, outer hip hugs. Press into the right shin, begin to float the left leg. Direct the toes out to the side. So external rotation in the left femur bone. Bend the knee like a dog peeing. And then close the door. Knee comes towards the right knee. Inhale, open it up. Exhale, lower it down. Keep moving, lifting and lowering. Feeling this in the outer hip. Keep the core engaged. Pause the next time the leg lifts. Extend the leg back. Square the hips off. Roll that inner thigh towards the sky. And float the right hand forward. We're holding here. We're breathing for a few rounds of breath. We're building our holds. One more breath in. Lower the right hand down to the earth. Step the left foot out to the side. Negotiate if you need to get some more space. And then bend into the left knee, drawing big circles around the hip. Move in both directions. There might be a certain area that you find that might be nice to hold and breathe. And pause. The right hip is over the right knee. Press into the outer edge of the left foot. Belly to spine, hands to hips. Float the right arm up. Think of length from the right knee up through the sideways to the armpit. And then exhale, tip over towards the left. Breathe lots of space through the right ribs as you pull the right shoulder away. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale through center. Exhale, hands to the earth. Come to tabletop. Knees under hips, hands under shoulders. Roll the heart forward, cow pose. Tuck tailbone, chin to chest, cat. Inhale, cow. Hold and pause. Hold the pose, not the breath. Shoulder blades are pulling towards one another. Tailbone pointing towards the sky. Pressing to the thumb and index finger as the elbows scoop. Keep that connection of thumb and index finger. Pull belly up and in. Round through the back. Chin to chest. Holding here. The pose, not the breath. Imagine the shoulder blades pulling further away from one another. And through tabletop. Step the right foot back. Step the left foot back. Plank pose. So we have options. Legs can be lifted or knees might be lowered. Wherever you are, the low belly is pulling in and up. Pulling those frontal hip points towards the front ribs. Our heels are reaching back. Inner thighs are rolling towards the sky. Outer hips hug. Long spine. The gaze is out in front of the mat, maybe 5-6 inches. Soft bend in the elbows as they're scooping towards the midline. It's hard to hold the pose. What else? Give the knees a soft bend. Press the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. So there's difficulty in the longer holds. You can pedal out the feet here. Just finding your way into your first dog. But beyond the difficulty of holding a posture, engaging the muscles, staying present with the breath, what else can you learn within the pose, within the difficulty of it? Inhale, float forward, plank. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. Keep moving, and you can take it slowly, or you could begin to pump it. And I only think that, or I would only encourage pumping it if you're really confident with the shoulder girdle, with the hug of the triceps in, protecting all of those ligaments in our shoulders. Pause in plank pose. Float the right toes off the earth. External rotation, the toes point towards the right side of the mat. Keep reaching with the left heel back. Bend the right knee so it comes up towards the right tricep. Extend it back, lower it down. Float the left toes. External rotation. Bend the knee, tap it towards the left side. Reach it back. Foot on the earth, hips up and back, down dog. Maybe 2 more breaths here. Inhale, plank. We're going to do that twice more with down dog in between. Float the right toes, external rotation. Knee to tap, right tricep. Extend it back, lower it down. Left side, external rotation, tap, back and down. Hips up and back, down dog. Keep rooting into thumb and index. Inhale, float forward, plank. Right leg, tap to right tricep. Back, left side, and back. Hips up and back, down dog. Walk the hands to the feet. Get off your hands and wrists for a moment. You can roll out the wrists, let the head hang, maybe give the hands a little shake. Grab a hold of either elbow. And you can give the knees a generous bend as the inner thighs spiral back. And we're trying to lift the sit bones towards the sky as we surrender the torso, the crown of the head towards the earth. Release the arms if they're clasped. Hands to shins. I like the outer edge of my shins. Belly to spine. Begin to lift halfway, flat back. We're breathing here. So there's often a tendency to just kind of hang out here. Can you get a lot of engagement? Like right now, my torso is really not doing anything at all. I could hold this for hours. If I engage my low belly pulls up and in. Front ribs hug. I get more length through my spine. My outer hips have got to engage to counterbalance. Inner thighs spiraling back. Crown of the head reaching forward. Much different pose. And then fold in. Inhale, lift with that flat back engaged. Exhale, lower. Bend the knees, roll up one vertebrae at a time. Let's come to standing. Head is the last thing to arrive. Roll the shoulders back, palms face forward. Float the arms, inhale. Exhale, cactus the elbows out to the side, lifting through the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist over towards the right. Keep the left hip pulling back. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, twist towards the left. Right hip pulling back so the hips are in line. Inhale, float the arms. And exhale, fold over the legs. Heart lifts, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Lift the right leg. Bend the knee, open the hip. Maybe some big circles. Both directions. Extend the leg long, step the foot outside of the right hand. Lower the back knee down. Let the hips sink. We've already begun to build some heat. Take this time to soothe the nervous system, to connect to the breath, the physical experience. Walk the right hand outside of the right foot. Press into the right heel. Engage through the core. Float the arms up. Low lunge. Interlace the hands behind the head. Look up towards the sky. And as you do this, in order to protect the low back, the belly has got to be engaged. Imagine pressing into the front heel and dragging it back. That'll get you more into the frontal left hip. Maybe a little squeeze of the left glute even here. Reach the arms up, inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Pull the hips back. Flex the toes. Replant the right foot. Sweep the arms up. Little back bend behind the heart. Exhale, fold in. Pull the hips back. Ardha Hanumanasana. Sole of the foot to the earth. Float the arms. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the earth. Pull the hips back. Once more. Plant the foot. Inhale, sweep the arms. Core engages. Exhale, hands to the earth. Pull the hips back. We're going to breathe here. So hands can be on blocks or stools or dogs, whatever provides some lift. Maybe up on fingertips like I am here. Reaching the heart forward so we're not collapsing into the spine, really rounding there. We're getting length. So you can feel the hips pull back. One more breath in. And then plant the right foot back to the earth. Hands framing the foot, tuck the back toes. Straighten the back leg, pause. Get that left leg nice and engaged. Strong plank with that left leg. Step the right foot back, but don't let the foot come to the earth. It's hovering. And then lower it down. We're going to lower all the way to the earth. Knees lifted or lowered. Uncurl the tops of the feet. Press them to the earth. Let's come up, cobra. Lower down. Walk the hands out beside the edges of the mat. Tent up onto fingertips. Press tops of the feet. Inhale, undulate the spine up. Exhale, lower back down. Twice more. Inhale. Heart reaching forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. And lower. Hands walk back beside the chest, tuck the toes, press up, bent knees, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts. Bend the knee, open the hip. Notice what it is that you're feeling in the body in this moment. Move in both directions. Extend the legs, square the hips. Step the foot to the outside of the left hand. Lower the back knee down, pause, breathe. Can we begin to develop a new vocabulary around things that maybe we consider painful or unbearable? Perhaps we can view them more in the realm of sensation. Walk the left hand to the outside of the left foot. Press into the left heel. So the left heel and left knee are in line. Belly to spine, up onto fingertips, and then float up into this low lunge. Feel the low belly pulling up and in. Interlace hands behind the head. Wiggle the chest or the waist a little longer as the chest lifts up. The belly pulls in. The left heel presses down and scrubs back. Breathe lots of breath to the areas that you notice. Maybe clenching. Inhale, reach up through the hands. Exhale, hands frame the foot. Hips pull back. Sole of the left foot back to the earth. Inhale, float the arms. Exhale, hands to the earth, pull the hips back. Inhale, float back up. Keep moving. We've informed this side by doing it on the other side. Last round. And we're going to hold in Ardha Hanumanasana. Hands on blocks or fingertips. Remember the breath, the length of the spine, long and smooth. The breath flowing in and out. Replant the left foot, hands to the earth. Again, tuck the right toes, strong right leg, plank in the right side. Stepping the left foot back without lowering it yet. Pausing in this three-legged plank. And then lower the toes to the earth. And you can take it through a vinyasa if you like, or you might move straight into downward facing dog. Breathing dog. Inhale high onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees deeply. Look forward, step or hop, feet towards hands. Heart lifts, inhale. Engage the front body. Exhale, fold in. Plant into the feet, sweep the arms. Hands to heart. Take a look down at your feet. Feet are hips distance, so find your hip points. They line up over your heels. Edges of the feet are parallel with one another, so it's like the number 11 or railroad tracks. And then we're going to bend into the knees. Have hands on frontal hip points. Bend into the knees. Think of lifting those frontal hip points. So if you want to take a look here, right now I am not lifting my frontal hip points. My tailbone is sticking back behind me. If I lift my frontal hip points, then I'm pointing my tailbone more towards the earth. You could reach the arms in front of you like you're holding a platter. Keep the shoulder blades on the back. Maybe the arms float. Utkatasana, chair pose. Notice your heels pressing to the earth and pulling away from one another. Outer hips are hugging. The breath. Notice that. Notice the mind. What's the story that comes up in the head as this pose confronts the body? What is the sensation that is the most prominent? What is the voice that is most prominent? Enough already. 2 more breaths. On the second exhale, fold slowly over bent knees and then straighten the legs. Pausing here. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold in, hands to the earth. Keep the right foot forward, step the left foot back. Walk the right foot out to the right. Stay high on the left toes. Strong left leg. Front knee towards 90, up onto fingertips. Float the arms back, and then peel the chest up. As you float the arms up, the back knee can softly bend. Crescent warrior. Those frontal hip points, just like we did in chair pose, they're lifting. Grab the left wrist with the right fingers. Get length through the side body and tip over to the right. Come through center. Let's open warrior 2. Back foot seals. Slight angle with the back toes. The knee on the left side follows the angle of the toes. The hip follows the knee. The chest works towards square to the left side of the mat as the right hip pulls back. And then we're in the pose, and maybe the eyes close. We keep coming to the breath. Stay with the body, the sensation. We are sensual beings, which sometimes makes for a great game. Everything tastes good, everything feels good. And then other times, we try and get out of our bodies because we don't like the way that our senses are experiencing the world. But the truth is, we can't get out of our bodies. And so what if we made friends with the senses and changed our opinions about what it is? Flip the front palm, reverse the warrior, up and over, hands to the earth. Let's walk the hands to the left. Point the toes towards the left side of the mat and fold in. Head is heavy. Breathing, soothing the system. Heavy sighs out the mouth are always encouraged. Somatic release, vibrating the vocal cords. Walk the hands back to the top of the mat. Point the right toes forward, come onto the left toes. Plant the hands. This time, an option for a three-legged plank into three-legged chaturanga. You could step the right foot back, you could lower the foot, or you could come forward and down with the foot lifted. Back bend, down dog. Sweat dripping off my nose. The heat in the body is a sensation. Our emotions bring up different sensations. Inhale high onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, looking forward, step or hop, feet towards hands. Heart lifts, flat back. Exhale, fold in. Sweep the arms, inhale. Hands to heart. Exhale. Sink the hips, Utkatasana. We won't be here as long, I promise. But we are here for a little bit. Make friends with it. Maybe tell yourself you love yourself. How's that sensation in the body? If you don't do it often, it might be really confronting and awkward and weird. Do it anyway. One more breath in. Fold over the legs. Heart lifts. Plant the hands, step the right foot back. Left foot over to the left slightly. Feet are at least hips distance. Up onto fingertips. Front knee towards 90, belly to spine. Float the arms back. And then upright to the chest. Slight bend in the back knee. Floating the arms up. There's a scoop of the elbows. Trying to hollow out the armpits. Shoulders on the back. Frontal hip points lift. Grab the right wrist with left fingers. Lengthen. And tip. Notice if that left hip is swinging out, hug it in. Inhale, center. Okay, exhale, warrior two. Let's find the pose. You can lower the hands onto the hips to find the alignment and maybe give the arms a rest. The back foot, you really press into the edge of the back foot as you lift the inner arch. Again, toes, knee, hip, all pointing towards, let's say, between 2 and 3 o'clock on the clock. Frontal hip points keep lifting as you descend the hips. Arms reach out. Shoulders away from ears. And I'm going to shut up so we can breathe. Maybe the eyes close. What's confronting? Can you bear it? Flip the front palm. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, hands to the earth. Walk them to the right, another wide-legged forward fold. Feet are parallel. You might hold the ankles, or hands might just support the torso on the earth. The inner thighs spiral back. Hands come under the shoulders, lift halfway up. Walk the hands towards the front of the mat. Parallel, or point the left toes forward, come onto the right toes. And again, this option for a three-legged vinyasa. You're welcome to it. Or straight into dog. Breathing here. Lower the knees to the earth. Maybe a block between the ankles again, or just sit back on the heels. Any comfortable seat. Eyes closed. Come to the breath. Slow it all down. Where has the mind been through the practice? There's no punishment for the wandering mind, or at least I hope we are practicing curiosity and compassion with our minds. But it is good to check in, to remember, oh yeah, I'm doing something here. Hands to the earth, feet step back, hips lift up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, float forward, plank. Lift the right leg, step the foot outside of the right hand. Keep the back knee lifted. Feel the right knee hug in towards the right tricep. Strong back leg. Hands could be on a block here. Then we're going to straighten any amount into the front leg, and you can bend deeply into the back leg. Bend into the front leg. And then straighten the front leg. You can bend into the back leg. Bend into the front leg, straighten the back leg, straighten the front leg, bend the back leg. Pause with the hands under the or over the under the shoulders. That's it. Step the right foot back. Lift the left foot. Step it outside the left hand. And begin to just breathe here. Strong back leg. Inhale, straighten the front leg. You could bend the back leg. Exhale, bend into the front knee, straighten the back leg. Keep moving. You can bend the back knee as the front leg straightens. A few more. And then pause with knee bent. Walk the left hand outside of the left foot. Step the right foot forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Plant into the feet. Sweep the arms. Hands to heart center, pause. Eyes closed, Tadasana, hands release beside the hips. Feel the feet grounded. Blink the eyes open, soft gaze. Step the right foot wide, facing the right side of your mat. About a leg's distance in between your feet. Heels in, toes out. Begin to sink the hips. Tailbone towards the earth. Still that lift of those frontal hip points. Hands can be on thighs here. Heart is lifted. Nice. Feel the power in this pose. The strong core engaged. The opening of the groin. The outer hips. The heart lifted. Inhale. On the exhale, dip the right shoulder towards the midline. Inhale through center. Exhale, left shoulder. Inhale, center. Feel that proudness of the heart as you come through center. Exhale, right shoulder. Inhale. Exhale. Feel the sensation in the legs. Keep moving. Once more, each side, starting with the right, ending with the left. Center. Straighten into the legs. Parallel the feet. Heel toe, feet together. Tadasana. Hands to hips. Smooth breath. Gaze down at the floor. I'm going to just float the right toes off. Point the right toes out towards the right and bring the sole of the foot to the inner calf. Maybe the toes rest on the earth like a little kickstand for balance. Also, choosing one point of focus will help balance, as well as the lift of the frontal hip points. If you do want to try sliding the foot up higher, go for it. Tree pose. Vrikshasana, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe the arms float. Bring the knee back through center, lower the foot to the earth, left side. Get yourself situated on the right foot. Keep hugging the outer hip. Peel the left toes or the left heel off the earth. Or actually, no, float the left foot off and then external rotation of the leg. Sole of the foot to the ankle and then maybe to the calf as you gaze at one point of focus. As you lift the low belly, as you hug the outer right hip, and press into the big toe mound. That's what it's called, something like that. And then maybe the leg moves or the foot moves a little higher on the leg. Maybe the arms float, maybe fall, maybe come back. The conversation leg in these balance poses. The knee comes back through center, the foot lowers, arms release. Top of the mat. Our cool down has arrived. Float the arms up. Final dive forward. Heart lifts, inhale. Keep the right foot forward, step the left foot back, lower the knee to the earth. A block is lovely here, hands to the inside of the foot. Options here, hands can be on a block, or you might bend the elbows and lower them down, come onto the forearms. You could shift a bit side to side. You might explore how it feels to bend the back knee wherever you are, kicking the heel towards the tush. And that might be plenty of sensation, and that's just it. It is a sensation. An exploration of the sensation. You might float the right hand back and see if there is a connection to be made. Release whatever you've got, hands to the earth. Tuck the left toes. Straighten the leg. Hands are still to the inside of the right foot. We're going to step the left foot forward to the outside of the left hand. And then step the right leg back, lower the knee down. How's that? This pose might be really confronting or it might be really yummy. It's different in every body. Whatever it is, it's going to be a sensation that you're exploring. And then we'll all kick heel to butt. Explore that sensation. And you might take the exploration into that twist, seeing if the left hand can make a connection with the right foot. Release whatever you've got, hands to the earth. Just step the left knee back with the right knee, big toes touch. Sink the hips back into child's pose. And slowly coming back up. We're coming into a hip opener. If single pigeon isn't good for your body or you don't feel like doing it for whatever reason today, you can come on your back into figure 4 reclined pigeon with ankle over knee. If you're moving towards single pigeon, you'll just step that right shin forward. The heel can be very close to the left hip, or you can move the right shin towards parallel. The right knee is outside of the right hip, so they're not in line with one another. The right knee is closer to the right side of the mat. And the left leg is a nice straight shot from the hip, the foot all in line. And you could lower down any amount, maybe just to forearms. Maybe onto a block or bolster. And wherever you are, you're breathing. As your body notices this sensation, as your mind explores it, what do you notice? Is there a way for you to be more present through the use of your senses? As we sit in different sensations, as we allow for that, what do we open ourselves to? If we create less stress around the perception of discomfort, can we open ourselves to more wisdom, more creative thinking? A greater sense of play. Slowly come out of this side. You'll find your way into your second side, however you best see fit. So you might step back into dog, pedal out the feet, and then just bring the left shin forward, or you could just swivel and swing. And if you're on your back, you'll just change the ankle and knee position. Now take your time. Once you find the lower half of the body, left knee closer to the left side than the hip. Right leg in a straight line. Take your time folding in. What's the rush? And so frequently we are in that rush, trying to get from A to B to C to Z. And then we often abandon the experience, the present moment experience. And then a year has passed and we go, holy shit, where was I? And a decade has passed and we go, what the hell has happened? Who am I? As we practice conscious awareness, present moment awareness, plugging in, it's like we're slowing time down. That's the usefulness of this practice of training our parasympathetic nervous system. Rest and digest. When we're stuck in stress, fight or flight, things feel very fast. Stress comes, and stress is not a bad thing in our lives. But when it comes, can I have a new relationship with it? Let's come out of this side, simply lifting. We'll all land in a seat. Legs in front of us. Scoot the flesh out from under the sit bones. You might be up on a block or bolster. Toes flex, soft bend in the knees, inner thighs roll to the earth. Just like Tadasana legs. Inhale, float the arms. Exhale, fold over the legs. Try and keep a straight spine as long as you can. Hands land wherever they land. Maybe the feet, ankles, or shins. And then roll the spine. Release whatever clasp you have. Roll up. Scoot hips towards heels. Roll down. Hug the knees towards the chest. Give a squeeze. Let's come into happy baby. You can hold the edges of the feet or the shins or behind the hamstrings. Breathe into the groin, the outer hips. Release from there on the exhales. You might rock, you might extend one leg at a time. You might notice how it is to be here. And then we'll bring the knees together, give a squeeze. Nice tight little bind. And then release the legs. Find any position with the body. Take your time to find it. You could shake the hips out a little bit. Point and flex the feet. Arms land. Heart opens. Palms face up perhaps. Breathing softly, surrendering with the eyes closed. Finding your way into this final resting pose, Shavasana. human life is filled with different sensations. Discomfort, stress, it's just another sensation. We label things good and we label things bad, and the truth is we just don't know. And so often we label discomfort as bad. But discomfort can inspire growth and change and curiosity. So instead of jumping to the judgment, instead of jumping into the I know, embrace the unknown. The unknown is a fact of life. It is just another element of our experience. And if we can soften and relax into that space, what do we open ourselves to? What do we invite into this human life? Place one hand onto the heart and one hand onto the belly. And breathe. Feel yourself breathing. Miraculous. Miraculous to be a human here on this planet at this time. Even though it's hard, it's miraculous. All the other humans that had to come before for you to be here. Float the arms up and back. Stretch your body long. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Thank you, body. Make your way into a comfortable seat, however you best see fit. Roll to one side or rock up and down. And as you sit, similarly to the beginning of the practice, we pause. What has changed? Through the discomfort, through the stress of the practice, through the practice of the calming breath, what has changed? Palms together at the heart center, lift the heart, bow the head, thank yourself for changing. And take some of this practice of observing, of being with, of allowing, of shifting the vocabulary around discomfort, sensation. Take it with you off the mat. Shanti, peace.